Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Hey, Kendra.
Hi, Ellie.
So I see a lot of people already joining. So it's 1:29. We'll wait one more minute, 1 or 2 more minutes, so people can join us. So nice to see you all on the line. Thanks for joining again. Hi, Mike. Hi, Maude. A couple of our colleagues on the line too. Great to have such a good attendance here. So let's wait again 1 more minute and we're gonna start. Great.
And as we're waiting, just a reminder for some of those joining, if you plan to attend PAC Expo next week, we have a booth there. I have a slide at the end showing that, but I figured I'd let everyone know here in the chat as well.
Good point, Kendra. Thanks for mentioning. So I don't know if some of you on the line will be at PAC Expo also next week. You can let us know in the chat too. They expect great attendance. We already have one question. Great, we already have some questions. Mr. Chen, thank you already for the question. That sets the tone for a great interest for the palletizing solution. We'll wait a little bit. You'll see some of the information in the webinar, and we'll have this Q&A session at the end. So how far can the robot reach? So Kendra, you see already a lot of curiosity for us on the line. Great, so we're reaching a couple of people here. So I think, yeah, we're gonna be good to start. 1:31, let's not wait any more minutes. So hi everyone, welcome again to those joining right away. Welcome to the PE20 new project launch webinar. So we're finally adding the latest member of our palletizing solutions family. So the pedestal 20 kilogram Cobot palletizing solution is finally here. So thanks again for joining us today, and let's dive right into it. And let's start with us presenting you the latest solution we're proud to announce today. So I'm myself, Elizabeth. I'm field marketing manager at Robotiq for Americas and EMEA. You will hear my French accent. So Robotiq is a Quebec-based company. So please bear with me at some points. But gladly, I have my colleague Kendra Python on the line, also who's our palletizing expert here at Robotiq. Hey, Kendra.
Hi, Ellie. Good morning, good afternoon to everyone on the line.
Great. So 1:32, I think we're ready for to give you the what people have been waiting for. So you probably have seen it somewhere, maybe on LinkedIn or on other channel, but we're happy to share with you today the latest video showcasing the new solution, the new palletizing solution. Let's give it a go, Kendra. Maybe you can raise the volume just a little bit. On the video, I guess. I can hear it, but I don't have the sound there, Kendra. Do you have the sound? If anyone can let us know in the chat. We cannot hear. Yes, thanks, Tyler. Now we do. Great new height unlocked with the new palletizing solution. Thanks, Tyler, and other people on the line for letting us know. So we'll share with you afterwards also this video so you can see the new palletizing solution in action and see how this could fit into your factory. So without any wait, so we'll dig deeper in the solution and to share with you what you gotta know. So why also this webinar is there to help you get a better understanding on how you could deploy an end-of-line automated palletizing solution. So why we should automate now. After that, we're going to discuss more in details about the PE20, the overview of the solution, the benefits, how to deploy the Cobot palletizing following the lean robotics methodology. And then we'll share with you a bit of a live simulation and some throughout the webinar, some case studies. So stay tuned for at the end some case study in coffee manufacturing, bread, wine. We even have more surprise in other snacks and food manufacturer throughout the webinar. So let's give it a go, Kendra. The words are yours now.
Thank you, Ellie. As Ellie mentioned, we'll share this recording after the fact as well, so you'll have the recording here to reference in the future as you share with your colleagues and look at it as reference. A really important question to ask yourself is, what is the cost of not automating? We have a lot of conversations on a daily basis with different customers in a lot of different industries, but if you take a look at just the durable goods manufacturing space, 35% more unfilled job openings as of March 2023. So we all hear the talk about labor in the news. We all hear it among different conversations we're in. Even if you go across the different industries, it's a huge problem. It's not anything people are shying away from now. So what does that cost to you? What does that look like to you as you add up all of the things that are being affected in your facility with not looking to automate? The shortages are obvious and they're not going away. So that's another aspect of this. If you're considering automating now, it's a really good time because there's really no out in the future how people are predicting. 45% of US manufacturing executives have turned down additional business opportunities due to lack of workers. So not only is it affecting your productivity, but it's also affecting your business and future expansions, future business needs that is the demand there with your existing customers and future contracts. So it's important to consider, what is the cost of not automating? Speaking with a few different customers, as I mentioned, one that comes to mind specifically is Cascade Coffee. We have a full case study on Cascade Coffee on our website. And it walks through a lot of the details around how Cascade went from an idea to actually deploying the solution. But one of the aspects they looked at the very beginning was, what was the cost to them of not automating? The number one issue was that labor shortage. They would have a new temporary worker come into the facility, and the amount of resources and time it took to get that person up to speed was starting to really take a toll on the management team. They had to keep their good employees deployed, doing the job at hand, while also maintaining these new hires and getting them up to speed. And then over time, they would have pretty low morale around these tasks, especially the palletizing task. And it resulted in that employee not showing up again, and then the whole process starting over of going back to a temp worker, temp agency, and going through this hassle. So it was very obvious to them that palletizing was a great task to look to automate, because the employees themselves were bored from this task. It was very repetitive, and they burned out pretty quickly. There was another aspect of this is in the safety realm as well. You can imagine the twisting and turning action that is required in palletizing space. This required people to step aside at different times with back injuries and different issues. So safety and satisfaction were a big aspect to their costs of automating, right, or of not automating rather. And then that third one would be performance. So because you have low morale, you have low attendance, it definitely affects your overall performance. And Cascade Coffee recognized that the machines were down during the different shifts, which resulted in stress building up. And again, the employees that were good employees not being retained because of the additional stress that was put on them with the low performance that was occurring. And it kind of is a snowball effect, resulting in lower revenue. So they noted all of these issues, and that was really the reason they looked to automate. They were having a 60% turnover rate before considering automation and before these palletizers were in place. So all of these things, you know, maybe some of these are something you can relate to within your own organization, but these are great reasons to look to automation.
Clearly, and we've discussed this also in the other webinar, Kendra, but also the customer choosing their suppliers, they want to know that the co-packers or the manufacturer are automating some parts of their process, so to have a more reliable production line.
Yeah, if you're showing investment within your own organization, it is definitely a plus for customer as they look to build a contract with you and build up their own business, right?
Indeed. So that what brings us to some of the questions we want to ask you. We want to know who's on the line and what some elements to you. So I'm launching this first poll. So which of these 3 challenges would you say you're facing within your production floor? So I'm opening the poll right now, waiting for your answers. So are we talking more about labor, safety, satisfaction, or production increase, or all of the above? Thank you, guys. We're reaching half of the people on the line voting. Let's reach a 60 before we close it. It's changing, it's moving. Great, so thanks for sharing. We've reached a 60% participation. So I'm closing the poll and sharing with you the results. So at the beginning, it was leading all of the above, but definitely labor shortages, everything related, the challenges related to labor are the main challenges. Production increase, interesting to see that. So thanks for sharing, guys. Let's go to the next question. We had, are you still doing manual palletizing internally, or are you already automating, or you need to automate? Sorry, so the answer is yes, we need to automate, or no, we are automating the process. You're already over this and you've given it a try. So again, words are yours now. Let's reach a 60% before I share the questions.
And as you consider different tasks for automating, right, manual palletizing is something that many people don't consider with the line. They want to automate various tasks within that line, but often the end of the line is forgotten, such as manual palletizing. So it's a pretty mundane task for people to be doing.
Exactly. Thanks, Kendra. And well, surprisingly, you're not the only one. Yes, we need to automate is the major answer here. So we feel you, we hear you. You're not the only one, and we're here to simplify that process and help you select quick wins application, just like the end-of-line palletizing. And congrats to the one already doing the automation, but we'd be keen still to exchange with you about it. Did I have another question? I think we'll continue on this one. And Kendra, you can take back the presentation if you want.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Ellie.
Are you okay? Maybe it's hidden. I can take it back. Oh, okay, good job. Amazing.
Very good. So, you know, we talk about manual palletizing and why would you automate palletizing? If you just take a look at this image here, you see the people stacking boxes, they're twisting, they're turning. It's not a very good use of their time either. So as they're waiting for these boxes to come down the line, and then they're doing this mundane twisting and turning, it's not good for their health, and they can be deployed in a better value add task within the line, right, where they're providing some more value. What's nice about this, when you think about palletizing, it's a very repetitive task, and repetitive tasks are great for automation. If you think about a robot only knows what you give it and what information you tell it. Well, if you give it very simplistic information, such as the box information and your pallet pattern, and it's repeatable, you have a great spot where you can consider automation. So palletizing is a great fit because it's manual. We can look at that task mapping of how people are doing this manually today, which results in a very quick look at how to automate. It's a very straightforward application, repeatable. The specifications are known. And as a result, we can quickly determine our ROI, and you can look to justify within your own organization when considering this.
Exactly.
So many people have already seen the fruits of the labor of looking at automating. 350 people, even more than that now, have deployed our palletizing solutions across the world. And it's really impressive and exciting to see that that happened in a pretty short amount of time. So we built up a great space and we've learned from that. And obviously today we're talking to you about our PE20, which is the next item in our lineup to expand this space even more. We've noticed about 50% of these palletizers are in the food and beverage industry. So many of you on the line, I know this is within your industry. Maybe some of you it's not. Our palletizer doesn't, hold any prejudice towards this industry. It's just where we have seen the results. So any box that you are picking and placing is a great fit for our palletizing solution. Let's just work together to make sure that it fits within our specifications and that we have the ability to manage what you are looking to automate. Many people trust us. Like I said, almost 400 solutions now deployed, and these are just some of the brands who have trusted us to take on this palletizing automation. We've had great success across a lot of these different manufacturers that you see here, and many of them have had repeat business as well. So when you consider automating one task, if you consider each time you're trying to deploy Cobot, you're finding a new task, you're basically starting from square one. What a lot of these manufacturers found is that if you look at end-of-line palletizing, you can automate that on one line, and then it's very easy to duplicate and replicate across various lines within the facility because the task at hand is very repeatable and very normal in the setting, right? I've gone through a lot of facilities where there are many lines, and they're all mapped out pretty much the same because someone's physically and manually palletizing today. So it's great opportunity to have pretty low risk and repeat opportunity to, again, get that ROI within your facility multiple times over on multiple lines. When you consider Robotiq, we've had a long history making solutions for cobots, especially universal robots cobot, but we're really focusing now as this new position as a leader in the cobot solution space. So we're very well known for our grippers, but we've shifted now into this solution space. You'll see here we have highlighted palletizing, screw driving, and machine tending. And today, obviously, we're focusing in on that palletizing lineup. But I wanted you to be aware that we have a strong focus with our team is very strong in the hardware aspect as well as software, and combining these to create true solutions for you. Ultimately, the end result and end goal is for you to get up and running faster, and that's why we've developed these solutions. When you consider our solution lineup within the palletizing space, this is a quick sneak peek at the full lineup here. We have AX series for axis and PE for pedestal. So the advantage of the AX series is that we have the ability to do a full pallet stack. And then if you look up, in the new one that we're launching today with all of you, the PE20 is a great fit for those heavier payloads. So we have the full lineup, and the goal here was to standardize on something, a product with standard components that you can replicate very easily. The more you standardize in the products that you're deploying and the solutions you're providing in your own facility, the faster you can replicate and the faster you can be in production. If you consider putting all of these components together yourself, it's possible, but the amount of time, money, and effort, and even resources that requires is where the hiccup comes. And so we've worked really hard to standardize. We've done all the engineering for you. We've done all the legwork to create this lineup to fit all of your needs. If you consider that engineering work that has been done, we went ahead and took the best of our software and our hardware and put them together similar like you have on your smartphone, right? You have a lot of apps that work on your smartphone that allow you to do different things, right? You can easily take a picture, you can easily book a flight, you can easily check your email. All of these things are very seamless on your interface, and we've worked hard to integrate with Universal Robots interface to do the same. So combining these two,
I think we have a little bug with Kendra. So maybe I'm just going to continue. So making sure we're not losing anyone here on the line. So let me take you back just the presentation here. Second, change presenter. This is the beauty of this is the beauty of the live. So you can see that we're not sharing with your recording. So it's really a live webinar. That's why we appreciate sometimes having the real exchanges and having you sharing questions with us. Kendra, I know you were talking, but we've got you cut a little bit, Kendra. We can't hear you anymore. So just making sure. So I'm just going to continue right there. Can you say a word to make sure we can hear you, Kendra? Okay, so I'm just going to continue before to make sure if someone can tell me on the chat that you hear me well, maybe Maud or Mike that are on the line. So I continue here just to share with you what's been unlocked also with the PE20. So we say it's unlocked, but it's also something that we continue selling because with our previous units, the other members of our the family of palletizing solution, we used to deploy a lot, but now we can have access to bigger boxes, heavier payload. This is why sometimes of wineries and heavier beverages that we can now palletize. You'll see it maybe in the videos lately online. You see a lot of them. Oh, Kendra, seems that we have you back. You there now? Can I hear you?
Yeah, you can continue, Ellie. I think, you know, the different industries in which we have already had success, we can build on now and really expand the payload capability. So before I'd have conversations with customers and we would be able to do, you know, 80% of what they require, but we couldn't get that extra 20% because we were at about 35 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds. Now we're excited that we have a solution that can extend from, you know, 5-pound cases all the way up to those 40-pound cases. So it makes it very exciting.
Exactly, and a lot of unlocked one. We see a lot of meat, fish, frozen sausages is pretty popular in the United States. So we have a lot of project with them. So feel free to reach out if you want to discuss about this type of project. If we have co-packers, co-manufacturers on the line, the palletizing solution is a great fit for you. And why so? I mean, we know it's tough with the labor temporary workers, but also we know that you have to handle like a wide variety of SKUs. So the palletizing solution can help you even if you have hundreds of SKUs, and you also be the owner of the changes. So you don't have to call like maybe a traditional robots as a specialist or the team to be on site. No, you are really the owner of it, and you can use the flexibility to change the pallet pattern yourself. And having, when we say elevate your workforce, this is also a part of it, like training your team to being able to master this automation. Dairy products, so you'll see some examples of cheese, ice cream that we love so much, even the cones that we see right there, not only the dairy products, but what's also holding the dairy ice cream. Any brand manufacturer also on the line, great project that we've recently launched, we'll share on the next slide, frozen or not frozen. So we've learned a lot about these projects. So nuts, palletizing, snacks, very interesting. So we're unlocking. We used to palletize a lot of these, but now we can have bigger boxes. And in the pharma industry, also very interesting there. We got to focus maybe on the more dense product, let's say oiled gummies, all the dairy products. So very interesting. Let's make sure we team up with the right people to respect the regulations there in that industry. So before sharing again, giving back the control to Kendra, so we wanted to share a great project we had recently with that bread manufacturer called Antique Traditional from Valero Group. So very interesting project. So I can press play without a sound so you can see a bit how it works. They wanted to automate 4 lines. they were in discussion with the traditional robot agency, and they had to invest about $1 million, so very costly. So when they met our partners at a trade show, they said, we need a more collaborative solution. And we were able to combine their lines, deploy only 2 Cobot solutions, so reducing the footprints of the automation installation, and so the customer could save at least 50% of their automation costs. So as their automation responsible was saying, so they're pretty happy about the collaboration we did together. So you guys are really involved in the project if you want to, or but in the end, it's really to deploy a turnkey solution in your facility. Maybe I'm giving it back to you, Kendra, so to talk to us a bit more about the details about the PE20. Let me give you back the control here. Let's give it a go. Okay, words are yours again.
Very good. So as you consider the PE20, what does that look like, right? We've talked a lot about it. You've maybe heard a lot about it, but what does that PE20 really look like? So if you consider a robot, right? You have a robot and you're looking for everything around the robot. We can define what a robot is, but we really need to look at the full solution. This right here is exactly what you would expect from a Robotiq solution. The combination of the Universal Robots robot, UR20 specifically, so 20 kilogram payload, along with our hardware and software. In addition, we can stack up to 84 inches, maybe a bit more if you consider some different case sizes and pallet configurations. Obviously, with more reach means we have more capabilities in this realm. And so we have a simulation tool I'll show later that can help justify what is possible and not possible. We can manage a throughput of 13 picks per minute. I say throughput and I say picks because we can pick now multiple cases, especially with the capacity of 20 kilograms. We can pick multiple cases at a time to better our throughput to be upwards of 20, 30 cases a minute in some instances when the payload allows. And of course, we want to kit the solution for you. So we want to own as much of the solution for you to help alleviate the stress of trying to figure out all of these components for yourself. So we also include a standard end of arm tooling. It's not exclusive to this. We do offer this. Other end of arm tooling can be managed on our solution as well, but we standardize in this PowerPick20 tool that you have here in this image. And last but not least, free integrated software. We have worked very hard as a team to provide really good trajectories for this solution and to pair that on the Universal Robots platform. So we sit on their Teach pendant as an app sits on your phone. I showed you the phone reference earlier. This is very similar to how our software sits on the Universal Robots platform, and you'll see a bit more of that in a minute as well. So what are some of the details when you consider the solution, and what are some of the things we've learned over time that are really a strong need? One of those being the fork pocket. So we understand that what is done in your facility one day versus 6 months later could look a lot different, especially with these different contracts and different demands that you have of your customers. The ability to move the solution using these fork pockets was really important, and we heard our customers loud and clear here, and now we've incorporated that in the solution for the 20. We've also included cable management. So all of our solutions come with the cable management. You do not have to decide what air hose you require, how to manage this, how to draw this along the arm. We manage this all for you. It comes with great directions on how to do it, and that's all included in the solution. Another aspect of our solution I wanted to highlight were the sensing capabilities. So we have the ability to know if a pallet is present or absent within the solution. And we also include a box sensor to say, I have a box or I don't have a box to the palletizer. So again, completing that solution, all of the little details really matter, and we've considered that throughout this development. We understand that moving from a product to a true robot cell is a key component for you as well. And that's why we've included this, I guess, button cell as well, that includes a start, a stop, a safeguard reset placeholder, and a confirmation pallet. This is all directed right to our stack lights as well. Again, fully integrated already so that you always know the status of your system. Do I have a pallet? Do I not have a pallet? Am I running? Am I in stop mode? All of this is indicated right on the solution, easy to see with the stack lights. And again, the idea is it's all done for you, and this is how it comes in our kit. Highlighting some of the key benefits, the one I mentioned with the fork slots, you move it where you need it to be. Not only move it where you need it to be, but you'll notice that the footprint of the solution is very compact. We understand that you are limited to what your facility is offering you. Not everyone gets to start with a fresh plan, a fresh new plants, new floor plan. Oftentimes you are working hard to automate with something that already exists. Maybe the person in the position before you had purchased a lot of other equipment. We understand the reality. You're working to integrate into that existing solution. So we've created a very compact, small footprint so that you can move it where you need. You have this flexibility on your floor. Second, that ease of programming. I cannot highlight enough how easy it is on the Teach Pennant within Universal Robots platform. We are not requiring a separate HMI. We're not requiring you to do, your own connections or communication there. It's all completed for you, and it all sits right on the Teach Pennant like an app sits on your phone. The third is flexibility, being able to change on the fly. I think in my previous webinar, we had a lot of questions about, well, what about if I am running one product one day and another product the next? We have the ability to quickly change over from one box type to another with different pallet patterns. And this is all done easily on that software platform. And we understand that the need is there for that flexibility. A key point within our benefits section that I wanted to highlight, we can deliver within 2 weeks, and you can be running and set up within 1 to 2 days. That is the nature of what we've created here. We wanted to create a solution. We wanted to create a kit that you could have up and running within a few weeks and really start receiving that ROI and that benefit of being up and running quickly. If we do our due diligence on the front end to scope it all out, this is very much possible, and we saw a recent deployment of this in this amount of time as well. So some of that standardization we highlight is definitely in the tooling itself, right? I mentioned that we have flexibility with end-of-arm tooling, but if you consider our PE20 that we've included in the kit, it allows different configurations of the end-of-arm tool itself. So if you have a rectangle box or a square box, and maybe this changes over from one day to the next, that flexibility is built into our gripper, and our gripper is very easy to install. Again, along with Robotiq's philosophy of getting you up and running faster and less changeover time, it's incorporated in everything we do, including our gripper design. Within the gripper, when you order the kit with the gripper, you not only get that end-of-arm tool that you physically see, but you also get the air filter and components along with the vacuum generator. So you do not have to sit there and size out your air hose, your regulator. All of this is done for you, and it comes in the kit, and it's simply a matter of mounting this properly, connecting it to your air source, and you're off and running. The really nice thing about the Universal Robots platform, as well as Robotiq, you require standard air and standard electrical requirements. So you do not have to figure out a 3-phase power source. You do not have to come with some special air supply. About 90 to 100 PSI is standard for our solution. And again, it's all set, ready for you to go. In the programming part of the end-of-arm tool, I just wanted to highlight here that even within our program node, on the left-hand side, you'll see the gray bar. Down there, you'll have a UR cap that says Palletizer. Once you generate that Palletizer cap, you can easily maneuver and do normal UR moves inside and outside of this cap. And I just wanted to show you the flexibility of our program and the ease of integrating different aspects of your program. You do not need to be a programming expert. We've created this GUI to walk you through how to do it, and that includes the simplicity of including a gripper within the program as well. So you might be thinking, Kendra, that's great. I like what I see. I understand now how the UR20 is paired along with the PE20 to build out the solution. But how do I actually go about deploying this? And this is really key. And a good understanding is that Robotiq has been in this industry for 15 years, and we understand where these simple deployments come from. And that's why we're focusing in on palletizing. If you consider just the universal robots, Cobot or any Cobot on the market, it's very easy to look at the arm and say, you know, the specification says I can go this fast, I can reach this much, and I can do, you know, certain task at a certain payload. However, you know, that doesn't get you deployed, right? It doesn't get you up and running. It doesn't provide any value within your facility. It's really understanding what goes on around the Cobot and understanding that complete cell. So how is the person interacting with the cell? How are the parts being fed? What does my tooling look like? How do these sensors navigate with the system? And that's what Robotiq has done. We've created the application for you. The solution is done in full, taking the Cobot from just an arm with some specifications to a cell that is deployable for you within your facility. If you consider the lean robotics methodology, our CEO wrote a book based on this methodology, the way and methodology to get up and running with cobots. And I'll talk through some of those steps, but the number one takeaway from his book is to keep it simple. And we've worked really hard within our palletizing solution to do that. If you consider redesigning, or I guess maybe you're converting a room in your house to an office space, and you think that you can spruce it up a bit with just some paint on the wall, and you begin painting, and then all of a sudden you realize that the trim that you have doesn't really match the paint that you picked. So now you go back to the store, you're picking out new trim, and all of a sudden you don't like the trim and how it looks at your alongside your window. It's becoming, you know, the fall, it's getting a little colder. I might as well redo my window. All of a sudden your goal of being done by the end of the summer to get into your office space is not completed. And now you're putting more money and more effort and more time into the project than you ever wanted. And in the end, you have a non-workable room, right? It's an incomplete cell. An incomplete cell creates zero value for you. And it's the same in your automation needs. It's the same in your facilities. If you don't have a cell up and running, maybe some of you have witnessed this where the system comes in and then it just sits there. It's providing no value. Upper management's looking at this and stressing over the solution not running. It's a bad situation to be in, and we worked really hard to create a solution to help avoid that. And that's why the simplicity and standardization of a solution is key for you. When you consider that lean robotics methodology, there are three main phases. The first being the design phase. I cannot emphasize enough how important this design phase is, because it keeps you in check from going into the scope creep. Maybe you've been assigned with you know, taking a robot and deploying it in your facility. Again, what does that look like, and what considerations do you need to have? If you focus in specifically on palletizing, a few of the specifications to consider to keep it as simple as possible would be the box dimensions, the box weight, the pallet pattern, and considering how this box is presented on the end of your existing conveyor. So with these small considerations, I would say, and very simple considerations, we can very much easily get into that design phase and determine if it is a fit for our solution or not. And again, keeping it simple in the nature of simplicity. We offer an online simulation tool, and I think this is the most powerful tool that we can offer to you today. So here's the live look at what our simulation tool really does. So if you consider the slide I just showed with the different considerations, that being box size, box weight, the pallet size, pallet configuration, all of that information can be dropped right into the simulation tool, and you can very quickly determine how the fit is and if it's going to fit your needs. So you'll see here I'm dropping in the length, the width, the height, and the payload of the box. I'm also indicating where my label is on my box. We understand that label orientation is very important, and making sure that those labels face out on the pallet in your pallet pattern is something that the human does manually today, but we can get to the point of automating that within our system as well. The next step will be configuring the pallet itself. So what are my pallet dimensions? Do I want to go to the left side, to the right side, or both sides? The nice thing about our solution is it's a continuous operation. I can palletize to the right side, I can complete my palletizing on the right, and I can continue that operation on the left side. And I get the continuous motion that you would require as of today with your other systems in place, right? Doesn't mean because the palletizer stops that everything else in line stops. We have this continuous motion. So you'll see we drop in and we build out our pallet pattern. So just as you might have defined today your pallet pattern, you do not need to reinvent the wheel to automate palletizing. We can take your existing pallet pattern, build that into our software, and define that very easily. Many people have alternating layers. I would say often the AB, AB, AB is very common in the stacking to create stability within the stack. And we have the ability to do that within our pattern. And the robot's going to take that into account with all of the trajectories. You see here, in addition to that, I'm showing off our multi-pick feature. So the ability to not only pick one box at a time, but pick multiple boxes at a time as well. And that can be built into the pallet pattern too, all understanding what is the true consideration, what can I and what I cannot do. You'll notice I built this out in a matter of a minute or two here while we were talking. I can drop in the AB layer pattern here as well. And as soon as I hit that green check, it is going to start a simulation, which is a live representation and video of the true solution that you would see out on your floor. It is using the same trajectories, it's using the same software capabilities. You are getting a real representation of what's possible in your facility. The best part, I'd say, of this simulation tool is the ability to share it with your colleagues. So now that you've created this simulation, you can take the shared link and share this among your colleagues. You can use it in a presentation as you're going for funding within your facility. All of this is possible, and it's all free to you to use. The link is directly there, www.designer.suite.robotiq.com/palletizing. So I encourage you to go directly there. You can also find that on our palletizing page on our website as well. So I'm really excited to share this tool because it's a very important phase within the design process to make sure that your expectations meet reality.
Thanks for
So
sharing,
with that,
Kendra.
I think Ellie has another poll question for us.
Why not another poll? So we want to know, so how many of you are in the design phase? So we've seen that 72% of you on the line are in the process of automating. So how many of you are still in the design phase or early stages? So you can say, yes, we're currently doing the simulations. No, we are still exploring various solutions. And or otherwise, as other of you said, yes, we already installed our cobots. Even if you already installed cobots, it can mean that you're still in the design phase for another cell. So we're already reaching 50% of voters. So hurry up and vote, guys, to be part of it and make sure the numbers are through to our assistants. Great. So I'm closing the poll and sharing the results with you. So a lot of you, some of you are doing the simulation. Some of you are not there yet, and we understand also. I've shared with you the link, and we'll share with you by email if you want to try the simulation. And congrats again to the ones that already did it. And the next question is maybe raise your hand if you would like to test a palletizing simulation, and we can also help you doing it. I think, Kendra, I don't know if you've mentioned it, but we also have the coaches team, engineering team at your service. So it's pretty easy to do. You can do it by yourself. Some people want to test it by themselves. As we said, we're elevating it, you're owning the process, but the team is there to support you. So feel free to say yes, you want some help to do the simulation. And otherwise, I'm challenging you guys to just go ahead and try it. So a lot of people saying yes, so I'm gonna close a lot of you not yet. So closing the poll now. I think, Kendra, you can get back to it.
Very good. Well, thank you very much, Ellie. I agree. It's a very powerful tool, as I mentioned, and I really encourage you to check it out. I think the link that was shared is one that already has some editing ability, so feel free to check out the link and play around with the tool. It's a great kind of first step in that design period, like I mentioned.
And
so
we'll jump in one question just because we're on the topic right now, but otherwise usually
sure.
I keep them for the end of the Q&A. So Brent, thanks for your question. So is the simulation cycle time accurate?
Yes, it's a great representation of what is possible through testing that we've done internally and through the same algorithms used for the trajectory planning. They are very, very much aligned to what real life indicates. Within the advanced settings, you can go in there and change your acceleration and speed as well. We all know that it being collaborative robot, a lot of these changes in the speed and acceleration are possible within that platform, and you can do the same within the simulator tool under the advanced features.
Exactly. Thanks, Brent, for the question. Thanks, Kendra.
And I encourage you to reach out to the team. I love to have these conversations and understand what the needs are and see where we have a fit and where we don't within the different projects ongoing. When you shift from that design phase, then making sure, the basic specifications are out of the way, the next phase within that lean robotics methodology is the integrate phase. So when we consider integrating, some of the things to consider would be the hardware. So once you get that hardware put together, everyone is very antsy and excited to figure out how do I actually input that information that we just did in the simulator into our solution. It's very easy. As I mentioned, I keep saying it's easy, but on the Teach pendant, like I mentioned, there is an app that sits on there called Palletizer that is free to you when you buy this solution, and it generates these different GUIs. It generates the box dimension and weight GUI, the pallet configuration, the pallet build, and you simply have to teach one pick position, which is from the conveyor, and everything else is done based on the information that you input. So it's really inputting of information, very little true programming goes on, but you have the ability to do this all on the Universal Robots platform. As you maybe have the experience, maybe don't, it will not matter in this case. And this URCAP software continues to advance. So just like an app on your phone where you get updates often, we have free upgrades within this space as well. So you have the ability to, maybe we have a feature that comes out and you want to implement this feature. You have that ability to upgrade your software and have this feature. One of those, the example of those would be the label. We didn't originally have label orientation. Now we have that feature. Here is a great image of how a user would interact, and an operator would interact with our interface. So if you have a specific SKU that you're running that day and say you have 2 layers on the pallet, but you actually want to start on layer 3, as you press play, it's going to ask you to confirm that the pallet pattern that it thinks it left off at is the same as what you see in real life. And this is a good example of how our software is pretty advanced and goes into that knowledge of what is the operator expecting. It allows you to not have to be an expert in programming to be able to use our software. Again, that multi-pick feature as well as multi-recipe, being able to manage many SKUs within the recipes.
Thanks, Kendra.
All of this is possible to be walked through on our e-learning platform as well. So if you want to go learn more about it, please, I encourage you to go check out our e-learning platform. It walks you through this and teaches you everything you need to know about the solution as well. It's good before you buy it, obviously a good reference after you purchase it and you're looking to install it as well. We have that support, as Ellie alluded to earlier. We can come on site and support you in startup assistance. So, those 1 to 2 days where you really want to pass off that knowledge from a Robotiq expert to your own operator and personnel, we can come on site and help in coordination with our partners locally. So you'll always have that support that you need to whatever degree that might look like. It's really important to understand what the needs are, what resources you have, so that we can give you the best support possible. Robotiq also offers installation services beyond just the standard solution. You see in the image there, some safety and a conveyor was integrated. This is something that we can also take on if it makes sense and if you don't have those resources internally. And the last and most important phase within that lean robotics phase is the operate phase. It's the most exciting because it means that you've done all the hard work and you can actually see the fruits of your labor and your design work. One of our customers recently deployed a palletizer, and it was really interesting because I was shared this timeline after the fact, and I think it really speaks to what is truly possible. They reached out to us last September. By November, they had ordered the solution, and by December, the middle of December, they were deployed. So it actually aligns really well with the time frame that we're in right now, right? If you come to us September here, we start talking about a project, we have a very fast turnaround to get you up and running very quickly, especially if you have budget available yet this year. This is a great representation of very fast turnaround on ability to get that in your hands and get up and running quickly. And I know many of you are interested in the different case studies, and I truly believe that there's no better way to speak to our solution than to see other solutions existing in the market and active. The first place I want to start is the one we recently launched with our PE20. I will first begin with some of the work we did on the back end. So you'll notice this is depalletizing on one side and then palletizing on the other. This was earlier in the year, and we went around and got a lot of feedback about the solution, and we learned from this to then now be at the point where we are today, actually launching the solution and even better, deployed in some areas. So we were able to get the feedback, and then we actually took this feedback and implemented it in our solution in our facility. We actively and continually do the testing in the facility. You'll see here that's at our HQ. We're constantly making our solution better. And then I'm very happy to announce that we actually have one deployed as well. And Ellie will speak to this in a minute.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Kendra. We're so happy. The product wasn't even launched yet, and we had our first PE20 installed in the factory floor. So if we have any nuts or snacks manufacturer on the line, I mean, this is also a great fit for them. In this case, we needed only a 12 kilograms, so that's where we've been able to unlock this solution, and they're gonna even increase the payload with some other boxes. So another turnkey solution deployed there. They didn't have to stop the production line for many hours. It was not even 1 day of deployment. So great autonomy from the partners, IGPS on site, but also great ownership from the experts at the Walnut export company in Chile. So congrats to that team. And you've seen it on this also on some previous slides, but we stay quiet on it. But a great first install also in the UK this week. So great success story to come. So join us to be part of it too. Going back to Cascade Coffee, maybe Kendra, do you wanna start talking about it first? I'll let you.
Sure. No, I'm happy to. So, you know, I mentioned Cascade Coffee earlier. They shared with us some of their reasons for automating, and they were hesitant, but I'd say very positive at the same time in moving forward with cobots. They saw a lot of the advantages, such as our coordinated motion within our solution. What's exciting is they started with one solution, they really nailed it, and then they scaled it from there. So they started with one solution with a little bit of hesitancy, but wanting to feel and be committed to that one solution. And shortly after, they were seeing the rewards very quickly, and they were able to replicate on 5 more cells. So now their lines are replicated, and they've deployed 6 solutions in full. And as you see there, the VP there mentioned how impressed he was by the pace and the support that he received from our team. So it was a really exciting case study for us, and really great customer and great partnership. You have to have that champion within your facility. You have to be fully committed, and we're there to support you throughout the whole process. And Cascade's a great example of how they learned as they went, and they continue to develop and are very impressive. And I'm impressed by their capabilities to you know, replicate one 5 more times.
Exactly. Well said, Kendra. And on the next slide, I think we can see another great project in the food manufacturing. We've talked about wineries and beverages, so you might have seen this video. It's getting viral a little bit, so because who doesn't like to see wine and effective palletization there? So great project in Germany. So if you have any heavier beverages, I know we had a lot of requests also heavier juices, boxes, all these types of beverages. So very great project deployed there. So feel free to reach out also if you have any project similar to this type of project there. Funny thing about
the solution. Yeah, the solution uses a repetitive pick position, right? So I'm repeating my pick. The process is continuous. He's removing the pallet while we're still continuing operation. It's really key to never have that downtime within your operation, and we understand that.
Exactly. We'll have a great question also on the line about that that we'll be able to link right after. On the next slide, Kendra. Yeah, we're already there.
So very good. With that, we could show you customer videos all day. We encourage you to reach out to us and have a deeper conversation. We would love to understand your use case and see how it fits with other deployments we've already had. As I mentioned, we have nearly 400 deployed, so we have a lot of experience and use cases to speak to help you and make sure that, you know, we've already gone through the learnings so that we can make sure that you have a successful deployment. If you want to see the solution live, we will be at PAC Expo next week. We will be in the lower South Hall, and the PE20 will be there. So, you know, we can speak to it all day, show you videos, show you pictures, but you can come see it live. I will be there all 3 days, and I'd be really happy to walk you through. You can ask questions in person, and to see it in motion, I think is what a lot of people like. And so we're excited that we have this opportunity. Our other solutions will be there as well and represented. So if you want to shoot me a note, you know, after this webinar here, we're really excited to help you get up and running faster. We thank you for your time. And with that, I will open it up to any other questions that came in on the line, Ellie.
Definitely. So it's your time. Feel free to ask whatever question. I know we're getting at the hour now, so we'll probably follow up afterwards on the question that with you more on the side, but maybe I'll take two of them that I have now. Christy, you had your hand raised. Let me know if you want to talk. You still have the hand raised. I could unmute you. I think we could test this, but I'll start with a question for Mr. Chen. So is it possible to reach pallets bigger than 64 by 64 inches? So I guess
the matter of what we can and cannot do obviously matters for the reach of the robot itself, but if you can imagine the size of the object for palletizing makes a big difference as well. If you tell me that we have to do a 65 by 65 pallet and my part is 2 inches by 2 inches, I'd say that would not be possible, right? That's a pretty large reach. However, if the box itself is larger, then my reach doesn't have to be that full 65 inches, for example, right? So I'd encourage you to reach out to me directly. We can share some of the information back and forth in the specifications. I don't have a great answer for you at the moment because it matters a lot on the pallet pattern, the size of the box, and then obviously the size of the pallet as well. So if you want to shoot me some more of those details, we'll be happy to work with our coach team and use our simulator tool to see if we can or not.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the question. Thanks, Mr. Chen. We'll follow up afterwards with you. So we have a question from Chris Armstrong. Thanks, Chris, for your question. So have you deployed a Cobot to palletize boxes from two different product lines, with different pallets? You wrote twice the word pallet, but yeah. Yes,
yes. A simple answer is yes. So the easiest is if the two conveyors are you know, side by side. For instance, I have product A on one side, product B on the other. I can easily put product A on one pallet and product B on the other. No issue there within our software to do this. Another example, customer had a conveyor coming in perpendicular to our solution, and the end stop is where these two boxes met. And again, product A on one side, product B on the other. As long as we can reach the pick position, there's no reason why we cannot have it running as you mentioned. So yes, the simple answer.
So thanks for the question, Chris. He says, see you at PAC Expo in Las Vegas. So feel free to join us, Chris, on site. It will be a pleasure to discuss. This is also what we can discuss about multi-pick and multi-recipe. That's the point of being able to palletize both sides. Footprint of the PE20. I don't know if you want to go back. Do we have the details about it on our slide? Maybe yes.
I don't think I have the dimensions called out within the drawing. That's something that I can certainly send over. I'll take note of that, Ellie, and we'll send those dimensions directly to them. But if you consider the size of a typical pallet is 40 by 48, kind of gives you an idea of the length of the solution, and then consider a couple feet across the middle. So if you have 2 pallets sitting on your floor today, it's pretty good representation of what that solution will look like in the place on the floor. But we can definitely get those specifics to you as well.
Exactly, we'll share with you the palette, the design. So very interesting about the footprint. This is one of the key points. So I'll make sure
the specific footprint is 1,310 millimeters by 2,400 millimeters. If you want to jot that down, that's someone just shot that over to me quickly. So.
I appreciate. Thanks, guys. I see Maud or maybe our Mike on the line. I appreciate. So great question here. So Jonathan had a good question. So what other capabilities do you offer as part of a palletizing solution to address the box presentation? For example, if the current end-of-line process is manually palletized and the box is not repeatedly positioned.
Very good. So my first objective always is to make it as simple as possible. So if we have the ability to use an existing conveyor and move some of the guide rails, for instance, to create that repeatability, that would be my first take at it. It's also often what we do is add like a 2 or 3 foot driven conveyor. So maybe you have one of the stretch conveyors that you currently use as a flexible conveyor for the different shifts and things. We can easily add a 2 to 3 foot driven conveyor, and that drives the positioning with guide rails directly into the corner. We just need a datum corner so our sensor knows box is present or box is absent. So we can work with you on that, and we could just talk a bit more.
Great, indeed. So thanks a lot. So another question that could continue. So Brent, thanks again for your question. So will the simulation show me where I am near singularities?
So great point about singularities. So some people that might be more familiar with universal robots or with robots in general, obviously the joint movements are not endless. At some point they reach a limit, right? What our team has done is taken that all into consideration with those trajectories. So as long as you pick your pick position is in one of the suggested areas that we map out as best practices, with the distance from the base itself and on that conveyor, you will not run into a singularity. We also set limits on the joints in our standard protocol to make sure that you're in the window of the best use of the trajectories. When singularity, or for an example, if a singularity were to be met somehow, there are ways we can work around those within our software as well. So it's not an issue for us, and our standardization in the solution. If you're not even familiar with what a singularity is, it doesn't matter because we've eliminated that concern within our advanced software.
Exactly. So thanks much, Brent. We could follow up also by email afterwards without any problem. So another question, a good question from Katie. Thanks, Katie. So can you mix the palette with A and B? Because I want to stay in the topic of the multi-recipe. So could I mix A and B on the same palette?
So as far as A and B, we'd have to look at what those packages look like. So if some of those packages, if you're doing a layer of all A and a layer of all B, yes. If it's a matter of our system being intuitive to understand how to best pack A and B within one layer, that's something that is a little bit more advanced. So it depends how complicated that is, but I'd be happy to take that offline and maybe speak a little bit more to it and understand the need a bit better.
Definitely, and we can help you also optimize it and make some recommendation about it. Thanks, Katie. Another question from Cindy Champagne Campaign. Thank you so much, Cindy. So do you have a solution to package pail with handle instead of boxes, like liquid food product?
It's a great question, and really something that comes up quite often now that we have a larger payload capacity. So now that we can pick these higher payloads, it opens the door to customizing the end of arm tooling to be able to manage some of these different package types. If you imagine a shrink wrap or a pail, for instance. So the short answer is yes, we have flexibility there, that the tooling's not our limitation. It'll just be a matter of how heavy that pail is and what kind of tooling can we look to pick it. So we'd be happy to look into that a bit more with you as well.
Yeah, indeed. So we see a lot of requests also that has no top, so we use maybe mechanical gripper to pick on the sides, but definitely you have a lot of flexibility already with the power pick gripper. So I'll complete the question. Also, Katie, I missed the second part of your first question. So what about the safety of Cobot information?
Certainly. So Universal Robot's new UR20 has a lot of safety inherently built in to the system, especially with the teach pendant itself, understanding that it's a larger robot. So all of those features are inherent to the robot and are reflected in our solution as well. If per your risk assessment, or if you need assistance with that, we can talk through your needs within your facility. Every deployment is unique, and a lot can be managed through speed and acceleration settings. However, we are providing a system that's readily available to install other safety as well. So if you want to add a safety scanner, a light curtain, something like this, our system is ready for that as well. We can help with that package as well, and just again understanding your need at your facility.
Exactly. So I hope Katie answered your question. Maybe you can follow up afterward. Chris Gibbons, I appreciate your question. So the main point of this presentation, so what is the maximum payload of the new UR20? So short answer, 20 kilogram. Including the gripper, we can go up to 18 kilogram because you have to consider the weight of the gripper.
Yeah, and I know the robots are deployed in kilograms, but I think in pounds. So if you think 44 pounds is the capacity of the robot, but in reality about 40 pounds when you consider our standard end of arm tool. Again, if a different tool is available that's lighter or bigger, all of that needs to be considered as overall payload, including the gripper, along with what you're picking.
Exactly. I'm sending it to all the answers. So thanks, Chris. Our pleasure. So any questions that you may have, I see we're already at 1 hour, 10 minutes, and maybe one more question if you want. Otherwise, so we'll continue by email. So feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out directly to Kendra. You should receive the recording link today or by the end of the day. Feel free to send out the information about your box, pallet patterns, and box weight, so we can build out the simulation for you. We'll be more than happy, and make sure to pass by our booth if you're at Pack Expo next week. And again, ready to jump in, and the Cobot palletizing experience will be more than happy to support you. And well, we thank you so much for your attendance today. And thank you, my dear Kendra, always a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Ellie. And I hope to see some of you at Pack Expo next week. Thank you.
Have a great afternoon, y'all. See you, Katie, too. So a lot of people that will be at Pack Expo for sure.
Very good.
Great, see you there. Great to see that we'll have more of them. Well, I'm about to close it.
Very good.
Thanks, Brent. Great, then give it a go. Ciao, Kendra.